Hi friends, today I am going to explain you about the library management software. So let's open this project. So this is the software. You can see the menus there. Search the book, issue the book, return the book, student book, library reference and exit. And first of all I would like to explain you about the database tables which we have used in this project. We have used 4 different tables here. The first table is the student table. And the second table is the book table. And the third table is the library reference table. And the fourth table is the borrower table. So as I have not inserted any data into these tables, it is showing that no row selected every time. So let's insert some student details into the student table by the front end. So I am opening this forum, student forum. So let's insert some student details here. So let's insert this student details into the student table. It is showing the message that the student record is successfully inserted into the student table. So let's insert another student details. So let's insert the student record into that student table. So it is showing the message that the student detail is successfully inserted into the student table. So let's check in the database. Now you can see that the 2 student details are found in this student table, and earlier it was empty. And if you want to see the details of this student with this student ID, you can just click on this show details button. It will fetch you the whole details of the student with this student ID 4BD06IS024. You can see the details with the ID 4BD06IS024 in the database, that the student name, from student branch, the parent name, and some details here. And also you can update each and every attribute by just clicking on these 7 buttons here. Also you can update all the details of the student at a time by clicking on this update all the information of the student of the entered student ID. So if I want to update this student name from Manju to Manjunath, so just enter the new student name there and just click on this update student name. You can see the message there that the student name is successfully updated in the student table. So if I click on this show details button, the name has been updated to Manjunath. You can check in the database here. Earlier it was Manju, now it has been updated to Manjunath. Suppose if I want to update multiple attributes, so I want to update this branch as IS and I want to update this parent name as Rajiv Kumar. Also I want to update this address to some city name Chitradurga. You can just click on this update all the information of the student of the entire book ID to update the details here. So it is showing that the details has been updated. You can just click on this show details button to see the updated details. You can see that the branch has been updated, the parent name has been updated, and the address has been updated. You can check in this database. You can see that earlier it was the branch, it was information science, and now it is IS. And earlier the parent name was Rajiv and now it has been updated to Rajiv Kumar. And also earlier the address was Davangere, now it has been updated to Chitradurga. So this is the working of the student forum. Now let's insert some books into the book table by making use of this book forum. So let's insert this book details into the book table. It is showing the message that the book details is successfully inserted into the book and library reference tables. So let's insert another book. So let's insert this book details. It is also successfully inserted into the database tables. So let's insert another book details. So let's insert this book details. It is also successfully inserted into the database tables. So let's insert the last book details here. So it is also successfully inserted into the database tables. So totally I have inserted 4 book details here. You can check in the database. It has inserted 4 book details into this book table. As you can see that book table was empty in the earlier. Now it is inserted 4 book details into this book table. Also you can see in this library reference table the same book details are inserted into this library reference tables also. Earlier you can see that library reference tables is empty. Now you can see that the 4 book details are inserted into this library reference table. Suppose if you want to see any details of this details of the book, of the entire book ID, suppose the books present here with the book ID are PD001, BD002, BD003 and 004. Now if you want to see the details of this book with the book ID BD001, book name Unix and book edition 0 and book author is Terence Chan. Suppose you have entered the book ID here, just click on this store details button. It is fetching the values from the book table of the corresponding entered book ID there. So also you can see each and every book details here like this. Suppose if I enter any book ID which is not present in these two tables, suppose if I enter BD005 which is not present in this book table, I have entered the book ID here BD005 and I am clicking on this show details button. It is returning the message that the book details cannot be displayed because book ID with the book ID BD005 is not present in the library reference table. That means the book details with the book ID 005 is not there in the book table and the library reference table. Also you can update here. You can update each and every attribute by clicking on these three buttons. Also you can update the whole book details at a time by clicking on this update all the information of the book of the entered book ID. Suppose if I want to update this book name as Unix system programming, you can just click on this update book name. It is showing the message that the book name is successfully updated. Suppose if I click on this show details, you can see the updated book name Unix system programming. So let's check in the database here. You can see that earlier it was Unix, the book name was Unix, and now it has been updated to Unix system programming in the book table. Also it has updated in the library reference table. You can see in the library reference table earlier the book name was Unix, and now in the library reference table the book name has been updated to Unix system programming. Also you can update all the book details at a time, as I said before. Suppose if you want to update this book edition to 0, and if you want to update this book name from Unix system programming to just Unix, you can click on this update all the information of the book of the entered book ID button. It is showing that the book details is updated there. You can see the updated book details. Earlier it was Unix system programming, now it has been updated to Unix, and the book edition is updated to 4. You can check in the database here. You can see the book table. Earlier it was Unix system programming and the book edition was 0, and you can see the updated details. The book name is updated to Unix and the book edition is updated to 4. So this is the working of this book forum. Also, if I try to update the existing book there, suppose if I enter the same book details here with the book ID 001, Unix book name is Unix and book edition is 4 and the book author is Terence Chan, which is already present in this book table. Suppose if I try to insert the existing book, it will display the message that duplicate book ID that book details cannot be inserted into the table since the book ID is unique in the database table. So let's go to the search the book forum. Here you can search the book in the library by entering the book details. If you know the author name, then you can search here, and if you don't know the author name, then you can search here. Suppose if I want to search the book with the book details Unix 4 and Terence Chan, you can see there in the book table the book details are in small letters, that is in the lower case. Suppose if I enter in the upper case, let's see what will happen. I have entered the book details in the upper case, that is the capital letters. The data is present in the book table in the lower case. So if I click on this search library, you can see the message there, book found in the library, you can go to borrow the book. That means that we have programmed like that. If you enter the book details in the upper case also, it will convert the details into the lower case and it will match the data which is there in the book table. If you don't know the author name, you can search here. It will show you the author name. So the message returned by the library manager is the book found in the library. The author name of this book is Terence Chan. You can go to borrow section to borrow the book. So what happens if I enter any book which is not available in this book table? That means to say the details which is not present in this book table. Suppose if I enter microprocessor which is not present in this book table. With some book edition, book author. If I click on this search library button, you can see the message there, book not found in the library, since the details of that book is not present in the library. The book table, means to say that the book is not present in the library. So this is the working of this search the book forum. So now let's go to the issue section of the library. That means to say issue the books from the library. So let's enter here the existing student ID and the existing book ID. You can see the student details here with the student IDs 4BD06 IS024 and 4BD06 IS026, and the book ID present here is BD001, BD002, BD003 and BD004. So suppose if I enter 4BD06 IS024 and the book ID BD001, if I click on this check this student ID button, it is showing that the student ID is valid and the student name is Manjunath. And if I click on this check the availability of the book of this book ID button, it is showing the message that the book is present in the library and it is showing the book details here. So what happens if I enter the student ID and the book ID which is not found in this database tables? That means to say if I enter the book ID BD005 and if I enter the student details here, student ID 4BD06 IS029, if I enter, which is not present in the student table, If I click on this button, you can see that message, this student ID is not valid, and that student ID field will be automatically cleared. If I click on this check the availability button, it is showing the message that the book is not present in the library, since that book details BD005 is not present in this book table. So let's enter the existing details in this text boxes. For BD06 IS024 is present in the student table, and BD001 is also present in the book table. You can see the student ID is valid. You can see that book is present in the library. So, and the borrow date and the return date is automatically printed here. We have programmed like that to it is automatically print the borrow date and it will add 15 days to this borrow date as the return date. So let's click on this issue the book. You can see the message, the book with these book details is issued to the student Manjunath. So the corresponding details will be entered into the borrower table here in the database. You can see there the student ID who has borrowed this book and the corresponding borrow date and the return date. Now you can see the book table here. You can see that earlier in the book table 4 books was present there. Now the BD001, the book with the book ID BD001 has been borrowed by this student, so it is deleted from this book table and it has inserted that book ID into this borrower table. So let's insert the another book to the same student there, that is for BD06 IS024, and another book we will issue here. So this is the student ID who has already borrowed one book from the library. This is this is the second book he is going to borrow now. So it has been issued to the student Manjunath. You can see that the borrower table has been updated here. That means the corresponding details are entered into this borrower table, and also you can see the book table here, so that the book with the book ID BD002 is deleted from this book table and the details are entered into this borrower table. So you can see that this student with the student ID BD06 IS024 has already borrowed 2 books from the library. Now if I try to issue another book to the same student there, let's see what will happen. So if I click on this check this student ID button, you can see the message there. The student ID is valid and it is showing the student name, but it is displaying the another message that but you cannot issue the book to Manjunath because Manjunath has already borrowed 2 books from the library. So we have programmed like that here. A student can borrow maximum 2 books from the library. He is not permitted to borrow more than 2 books from the library. So you can issue the remaining books to another student, that is to this student you can issue. Since this student has already borrowed 2 books from the library, we cannot issue the book to this student. We can issue the book to this student. Let's issue the book to this student with the student ID for BD06 IS026. You can see there the student ID is valid and it is showing the student name. and since BD001 and 002 is already borrowed, I am entering here BD003. You can see that the book found in the library, and it is showing the book details here. You can issue the book there, and you can see in the database here once again. You can see that the BD student with the student ID 4 BD06 IS026 has borrowed the book with the book ID BD003, and the corresponding details are deleted from this book table and inserted into this borrower table, and the only remaining book is BD004. So now let's go to this library reference forum. Here you can verify the library. I will show you how to verify the library here. So let's click on this total number of books currently available in the library. So this is the value which is fetched from the book table here. You can see that the number of books currently available in the library is 1. So it is displaying the message, displaying the value here 1. So this is the value extracted from the borrower table. You can see that the 3 books are borrowed by the students here, so it is displaying the value 3 here, and if I click this, the value will come 4, since the addition of 1 and 3 is 4. So if I click on this total number of books in the library reference table, it is showing 4. This is the value extracted from the library reference table here. You can see that the 4 books are present in the library, so it is showing the value 4 here. That means to say, this is the value number of books currently available in the library, excluding the books borrowed by the students here, and this is the books borrowed by the students, and this is the total of this 1 and 3, and this is the number of books present in the library reference table. That means this value should be always equal to this value, then only the library is verified here. Also you can check the total number of students in the college by just clicking on this button. You can see that the total number of students in the college is equal to 2. Why? Because you can see that the 2 student records are found in this student table, so it is showing the number of students is equal to 2. Here also you can see the book details. If you enter any non-existing book ID here, it will display the message book details cannot be displayed, since it is not present in the library. So now let's go to the last section of this software, that is return the book. So here you can just enter the book ID which has been borrowed by the student. It will fetch you these many values here, that is the borrow date, return date, borrowed by, this is the student name, and this is student ID, and this is the today's date, and this is number of days, and this is fine in rupees. This number of days is calculated by subtracting this return date from the today's date. So let's enter the book ID. That means to say which book is borrowed. Let's see in the borrower table. You can see that the books borrowed here are BD001, BD002 and BD003. Suppose if I enter any book ID which has not been borrowed by any student here, suppose if I enter that BD004 which has not borrowed by any student, you can see in the book table here BD004 is present, which has not been borrowed by any student. So suppose if I enter this BD004, it will display the message that this book was not borrowed by anyone, since that book is not borrowed by any student. So let's enter the book details, that means to say the book ID which has been borrowed by the students. You can see that 3 different book IDs here, BD001, BD002 and BD003. So let's enter this BD001. So it is fetching the whole details and printing on this text boxes. It will show you the borrow date and it will show you the return date given by the librarian, and it is displaying the student name there who has borrowed this book, and his student ID and today's date, and this is the value calculated by subtracting the return date from the today's date, that is -15, and fine is ₹0. That means to say here it will extract the whole details. You can see that the book details with the book ID BD001, which has been borrowed by this student, for BD06 IS024. You can see here that for BD06 IS024 is printed, and for BD06 IS024 the student name is Manjunath and it is printed here. So if I click on this clear button, the book will be returned to the library and corresponding details will be deleted from the borrower table here. So it is showing that the book with the book details is returned to library by the student with the student name Manjunath with a fine of ₹0. So let's check in the database. You can see there book with the book ID BD004 is not present in the borrower table. That means to say the book is returned to the library. It has deleted the book details from this borrower table, and it has inserted back into this book table here. You can see the BD001. It has inserted back into this book table. Earlier the only book present was BD004, and now it is, since that this book is returned to the library, it is inserted the book details back into this student table here. So let's return all the books borrowed by the students. You can see there the BD002 is borrowed by this student, that is the Manjunath. So let's return the book to the library, and the remaining book here is BD003. It's the book ID of that book. You can see that the details which the book was borrowed by this Dilip with the student ID for BD06 IS026. So let's return this book to the library. So all the books which has been borrowed by the students is returned to the library now. So now you can check the borrower table here in the database. You can see that the no rows selected means to say that all the books has been returned to the library. And now you can see in the book table that all the books are returned to the library. That means to say the deleted the book details are inserted back into this book table. So also you can delete the student details from the library here. So let's delete this student details from the student table. It is showing the message that the student record is successfully deleted from the student table. Now you can see in the student table here. That the the student with the student ID 4BD06 IS024 has been deleted. Now I want to show one thing here. So let's issue one book to the student with the student ID 4BD06 IS026. That is the book with the book ID BD001 we will issue. So I issued the book to the student Dilip. Now you can see that the Dilip has borrowed. That means to say this book ID, student ID, belongs to Dilip. He has borrowed BD001 book. So now if I try to delete his record from the student table, you can see the message there that the student record cannot be deleted because that Dilip has borrowed some books from the library. As you can see here that Dilip has borrowed the book with the book ID BD001. Only if the student has not borrowed any book from the library, then we can delete his student details from the library. So let's return the book borrowed by Dilip here. So now the book has been returned to the library. You can see there the borrower table is empty. Now you can delete the student details of Dilip. So let's delete this. It is showing the message that student record with the student ID 4PD06 IS026 is successfully deleted from the student table. Also you can delete the book from this book forum. It has been successfully deleted. It is also successfully deleted, and this book is also successfully deleted from the book table, and also the last book is also deleted from the book table. Now you can verify the library once again that no books is present in the library and no books has been borrowed by the students, and the total is 0 plus 0 is 0, and also the no books are present in the library reference table. Here also that 0 is equal to 0, that means the library is verified. And now since I have deleted every student details, you can see the message here, total number of students in the college is equal to 0. When I click on this, total number of students in the college. So this is the working of this library management software. If any suggestions are there, then they are welcomed to us. Thanks for watching this video.